Hey, it's Williee from Flowers and Scents with your floral industry buzz. Hey, today I'm going to interview Bob Callahan from Floriexpo. Floriexpo is the other big bouquet show, supermarket show that held in Fort Lauderdale every year. And it's coming up, so I thought we would check in with Bob to see what he's got going on this year. They're the new owners of this show, and I think there's some exciting things going to happen. So, without further ado, Bob Callahan. All right, Bob Callahan from Floriexpo. Welcome to Flowers and Scents, and good to see you again. Let's talk about a little Floriexpo. Floriexpo, as I understand it, I can't remember the original history. Maybe you can help me out there. I know DivCon owned it for years, but there was something before that, was there not?
Yeah, it was we DivCon bought it back in 2005, I believe, from a company called Gainshare, which was a private equity company who owned it for a few years, and they bought it from Jim Johnson, who,
Right.
we always heard Jim Johnson, I heard his name all throughout. Jim Johnson used to do it this way. So he was legendary. And then Gainshare took it, and then I think they bought it to look to sell it down the road, and then Diversified purchased it along with another event. So
Huh. And what was it originally called, the one Jim owned it? Was it
it was the Super Floral
Super
Show.
Floral, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, no, I was thinking that as well.
yeah.
Good. Well, it's come a long way. And I'm happy to report that you all have bought it from DivCom and, put a personal touch on it, or I'm about to see, because this is the first time I think since you bought it that we're going to have the show, right?
Yeah, as I mentioned, Jim Johnson, we strive to have that personal touch to it. So myself and two others, Christine Salmon, worked with her for 18 years at Diversified. She was an event director and also a stellar salesperson. And then Lauren St. Clair worked with her for 10 plus years. She's a marketer, and her background is event marketing. She did some, large brand marketing events throughout. So she has a ton of experience. So between the three of us and my time in the industry, we're bringing 50 plus years to this event. And we saw it as an opportunity with these large organizers. Once Floriexpo ended, we'd have three other events plus two publications to take care of. And people would say, we haven't heard from you guys. So our goal is to bring back the personal touch, make Floriexpo 365 days a year in terms of promoting our customers and happenings in the industry. And it's been very well received thus far. We couldn't be happier with the results so far.
I'll bet, because yeah, I certainly felt the impersonal part of it. Luckily, you guys have always been there, to help me through and get me into the show and such. So I don't have any complaints other than it was not personalized. So uh,
Right.
I'm certainly glad to hear that you guys have taken over, and I'm real anxious to see what you're going to do this year. So I've sort of, in my intro here, I said Floriexpo is sort of the other supermarket show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I could say East Coast one, but the other one moves around a little bit. So, but and there were years. Obviously, COVID was rough for you guys, but there were years when I didn't think y'all were going to survive because there wasn't a lot of attendance. There wasn't a lot of booths. And in your business, the supermarket buyers are sort of what runs makes it work, I guess. And off and on, you've been able to get those people to come. During COVID, they couldn't come, but I'm happy to hear that. Well, I'm curious to see it, and I know last year, at least I saw some of the big boys, if you will, show up and have exhibitions where they had previously not. After many years of following the show and going to the show and covering the show, it was always that the good news was that the people that did display often said, I like this show better because you get more personal time, there's less competition, and the people that do show up can give you the buyers that is, can give you more time. And I think that was sort of probably what kept the show going as long as it has.
Yeah, the people that have been with the event, we went through COVID. That was tough on everyone. But I think we're fully recovered from that episode. I think the show went out too fast after COVID. We're in Miami during one of the Delta variant, or and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind it was tough. But some of our main bellwether exhibitors, they stayed with us. They see the value of the event. We couldn't be more appreciative of that. And then, last year really took a turn. We dedicated a lot of time and effort into adding new things to the event and just making it more welcoming. And we hear, as you say, we hear, other events I get 30 seconds to a minute with a buyer. At Floriexpo, I get 30 minutes. So, and we try to provide that intimate setting for the event. Other events, there's the buyers and exhibitors are scattered throughout a big city. Where in Fort Lauderdale, we are in one hotel just across the street from the convention center. So we have our conference program in the hotel beginning on Wednesday. So everyone arrives on Tuesday, and there's a beautiful lounge that oversees the intercoastal waterway. People meet up there Tuesday. Wednesday, the education sessions begin, and it's just, it's very well received because your hotel room is right upstairs. So if you need a break, you can go upstairs, and then come back down.
And what hotel is that? That's a
It's
Marriott?
at Hilton Fort Lauderdale Marina,
Oh, it's
and they
right.
just renovated it. So they have a beautiful lounge. They renovated the pool area where there's a nice area there for networking as well. And there's a great restaurant in the facility as well. So the buyers and exhibitors spend the entire 3 to 4 days together in the hotel. And we hear, other events don't provide that. They're just scattered throughout. And if you're not well connected, you're kind of on
Yeah, you're
your
on
own
your own.
to figure it out. Where at Floriexpo, people will come and they meet, they're able to build more connections. And our education day is all set with roundtables. So you're in a mix of different people, different buyers from across the country, different exhibitors from across the country. A lot of them take part in it as well. So
Yeah, let's talk about that a bit more. What's going on with the education part of that?
well, this year is very well received. We've really well. Let me just start. We've upgraded our advisory board to include major company, Albertsons, Sobeys, HEB, Hy-Vee, Safeway, West. Schnucks has joined us, and then we also have Shaw's, Stop and Shop, United, Whole Foods. These are the top supermarket buyers in
Sure.
the country, and their floral departments reflect that. They're just amazing. So we've gone out with, in discussions with the advisory board for topics, and they've come back with us of what they would like to see and what they think is most valuable. And then we've gone out for a call for papers. So, we have a session on AI, which is,
You have to have it.
I highly recommend it. If you're a small business operator, it is so helpful. And I can speak from experience using AI. Live Trends is doing a floral buyer a trend report, as a keynote presentation. We have a session on the social and secondary holidays, how to boost sales beyond the major holidays as Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, the traditional holidays. So
Sure.
sessions on that. We're going to have a panel on tariffs. With buyers and exhibitors represented from South America and Canada and the US, and just looking for different ways on how you can circumvent it or lessen the impact. What are other people doing? We have a session on the psychology of the floral buyer. So all of these things, when we went out with topics or suggestions, and it came back to us, it just was like, yes, I think we're going to hit a home run with the program. It is filling up. People are excited about it. The advisory board, which we rely on tremendously, as like, yes, this is like one of the better programs we've seen. So
Cool.
we could be happier with the results of it.
And
So
that's on Wednesday, right?
that's on Wednesday. So then that concludes, and then Wednesday evening, you have a little break, and then you can refresh yourself, and then come back downstairs for a golden hour happy hour. So we have a party in the evening in the overlooking the intercoastal waterway. So
At
that's
the hotel.
that's at the hotel. So, and then beyond that, you can go upstairs to the lounge and network more if you wish. And then Thursday the show opens. We're bringing back something that Jim Johnson used to do, was the buyer walkabout. So like the high volume buyers can preview the show floor before the show
Okay.
opens. And that's what they ask for, that. The exhibitors understand that, this is their way of seeing a product, evaluating, and then they'll come back later in the day and speak with the vendor at the booth. But it just gives them a little private time to evaluate products before the show opens. So we're bringing that back this year.
Okay. And then the show's open for 2 days, like correct?
The show's open for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. So the show will have Thursday after, when the exhibits wind down,
It's a boat tour, right?
we'll have the boat tour. Yeah. So that's in the evening. But we also have Iron Designer.
Right, the
Comp-
competition, right?
uh,
Who's your MC this year?
it's going to be Peter Landeman will be back, and
He's a good one.
yeah, and I think that's such an important event, because from what Peter has says, there's a lot of designers that have actually received job offers after the design competition. So so it is very important to, and it's very popular, and people are yelling and screaming, and they're rooting on their
Yeah,
designers.
I like that part of it, and my mother even got a flower named after her. So at that
Yeah,
event, so,
yeah.
um, I'm happy about all that. Okay, and so who do you want to show up at this thing? Who do you expect? Obviously, this is more supermarket oriented than wholesaler oriented, but I
Yeah,
imagine wholesalers. I know wholesalers show up as well because they buy bouquets as well.
we do get quite wholesalers, high volume wholesalers, which is great. But this year it's we have new exhibitors and new buyers on the floor. So with the new exhibitors, ones like Passion's coming back, Queens is coming back.
Galleria too, I think I saw.
Galleria is back. Burton and Burton for hard goods.
Oh,
They used to have a huge display at the old Flory at
the floral, yeah.
Super Floral. So they're coming back, and we have giftware, we have outdoor display companies. That's a huge ask from our advisory board. We want to grow our outdoor display presence. So things like that, and then we have new buyers coming this year. So we have Kroger is coming this year, Wegmans, HEB, Sprouts,
Well,
Topco.
you got all the big names.
Yeah. So and it's all, this is us, our team being able to promote the event and promote our exhibitors throughout the year. I think that's gone a long way with the buyers are starting to see the value of the event more and more, and realize the importance of it. We often hear, Floriexpo is a light at the end of the tunnel for the buyers, in terms of, with Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, those holidays. Then they have a time, they come to Floriexpo and they can reset and then start their own program for 26 at the event. And we're providing, private rooms for the buyers if they want to meet with a vendor. We'll do whatever we need to make sure they can conduct a year's worth of business at the event. So that's our goal. So, and thus far, we couldn't be happier with the buyer turnout. We're very excited, and the exhibitor turnout. Some of these companies that used to exhibit with us have come back this year, giving us a shot, and I really think they're going to see a great return on investment as well, too. So
Okay, and all right, so the show dates are June
June 4th through 6th.
4th through 6th. Okay. And the fourth being the meetings, and then the 2 days of the exhibition.
Yeah. And then the other thing that, as a small operator, we're able to give back to the industry. So we've worked with that flower feeling. So they're going to sponsor,
Yeah.
they're giving them the keys to the golden hour happy hour. So that'll be an event sponsored by that flower feeling, and it's a charitable event. So, people who can donate to the cause. And then we're working closely with Christine Bolt from AFIA.
Yeah. Right.
We see the importance of an association as like AFIA, especially with the tariffs and the lobbying efforts. So the AFIA members that exhibit, the portion of their exhibit fee goes back to AFIA to support those lobbying efforts.
Okay.
And no one else is doing that. We're able to do that now as an independent operator, and we're always looking to give back. And I think that type of goodwill will reflect well on the show and support of the industry.
Wow. Hey, well, this is all good news to me because I like this show, and I've told you many years, don't move the damn show, leave it in Fort Lauderdale because
I listened to you about that, and it is true. It's in the backyard of many of our exhibitors, so
it makes sense. Going to other cities is cool and all that stuff, but you lose all those advantages that you have by being where you're at, and so that has been, I think, your hallmark from the beginning, is using, and you have that nice facility there. And I guess it's the hotel, the one they've just built next door, is that the Hilton, or I know that, or is that part of the terminal? I know
Uh,
there's construction there.
the Hilton's always been there. So that the Hilton is like a 10-minute walk
It's
to
across the street, right? Yeah.
we provide a shuttle for people who, if it's excessively hot or raining, there'll be a shuttle going back and forth.
Yeah, it looks like you walk there. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and then the convention center, they have a hotel that's they're building alongside it
Oh,
as
that's
well. It's not quite done yet, but they've really done a tremendous job with the convention center in terms of the renovation. So and the restaurants that are going in around there, and it's going to be a nice little destination.
All right. Well, I'm glad we had this opportunity to talk, and I hope that some of my readers and the audience will say, "Hey, maybe we got to go check this show out because it's coming up fairly soon." And I will post the dates and the website, and being a sponsor now of Flowers and Scents, thank you. There's a banner on the website and in the newsletter that you can click on that goes to your website. So I'm eager to show up in Fort Lauderdale, and I think I'll have to get a room at the Hilton actually because that sounds too cool. And we know this, we know flower people like to drink, and hanging out in the bar, a lot of business gets done in the bar at night. So I'm
Yeah, yeah.
not always good, but mostly it's I like it. So it's a fun
Yeah,
time.
when 2 years ago, coming out of COVID, the bar wasn't open upstairs, and it was a huge mistake. So we
Oh,
made sure last year that it was open, and after the boat crews let out, you know, letting people know the bar was open upstairs, and it just became an extension of the party. People just really got
yeah,
enough.
I've been to a number of conventions over the years where they've underestimated the crowd, and suddenly there's one bartender trying to serve 500 people, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, Mr. Bob Callahan, thank you for your time, and I'll publish on Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you in person, sir.
Thanks, Willie. I appreciate all you do. You're a big supporter of the event over the years, and I appreciate that. And you've given fair coverage throughout. So we look forward to seeing you in Fort Lauderdale.
All right,
Moving forward.
sir. Nice to talk to you. Have a great day.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Ciao.